Getting the hang of frequency words. Always to never. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to our English language learning series. Today, we are going to tackle a crucial part of our time-related vocabulary under the duration and frequency section. We will focus on frequency words, specifically, always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. These words are very important when we want to express how frequently an action or event happens. Let's get started. First off, what are frequency words? Frequency words are words that we use to describe how often something happens. In English, we have a whole range of these words, but today, we're going to focus on 6 of the most common ones. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Always implies that something happens all the time or every time. It shows 100% frequency. Usually means that something happens most of the time, but not always. It's around 80% to 90% of the time. Often is used when something happens regularly, but not as frequently as usually. It's about 60% to 70% of the time. Sometimes indicates that something happens on certain occasions, not regularly. This is around 30% to 50% of the time. Rarely means something hardly ever happens. This indicates a very low frequency, about 10% of the time. Never shows that something does not happen at all. It has 0% frequency. Now, let's see how we can use these words in sentences. 1. I always eat breakfast in the morning. 2. She usually goes to the gym after work. 3. We often watch movies on the weekend. 4. He sometimes forgets to turn off the lights. 5. They rarely eat out. 6. I never miss an episode of my favorite TV show. Notice that the frequency word typically comes before the main verb but after the verb, to be. Now it's time for some practice. I'll give you some sentences, and you need to fill in the blank with the appropriate frequency word. 1. She, blank, goes to bed before 11 p.m. 2. I, blank, drink coffee in the morning. 3. They, blank, visit their grandparents during the holidays. 4. He, blank, reads a book before going to bed. 5. We, blank, eat junk food. Now, try to create your own sentences using these frequency words. Remember, practice makes perfect. That's all for today's lesson on frequency words. I hope it's now clear how and when to use always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Remember, these words can make a big difference in your English speaking and writing by allowing you to express how often an event occurs. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Happy learning!